Good morning and welcome to our morning meditation focused on the art of noticing. I invite you to take a few moments to center yourself before we begin this meditation. And today's meditation is encouraging us to talk to a stranger. Talk to a stranger. We will begin in a few moments. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for this morning's meditation. And we're focusing on the art of noticing. Today's meditation is entitled, Talk to a Stranger. I'm naturally a shy person, says the author, so it never occurred to me that strangers could provide attention inspiration until a couple of my students suggested it. The writer and teacher, Keo Stark, makes a nice case for talking to strangers in her book, When Strangers Meet, How People Do Not Know or How People Do Not Know Can Transform Them. She offers encouraging tips for people who might not take the time or to talk to a stranger or think this sort of thing to be naturally. And that's not just me. Particularly in shared public spaces, most of us observe some sociologically called civil attention or civil inattention, silently agreeing not to bother one another in a kind of mutual non-interference pact. Stark advocates finding small opportunities to violate these mores just a little. If you see someone who looks like they might need, for example, directions, resist the urge to dart past eye averted. Offer to help. One of my students did something like this. When an elderly woman directed a random comment at him about trash that littered the street, he engaged in a conversation with her. He listened. He responded. The encounter was fleeting, but it made an impression on him for the entire day. When you feel comfortable being open to such moments, Stark advice: create them for yourself. Ask a question, offer a compliment. Try tossing out some casual observation about the shared space you both are inhabiting. Stark offers the common sense caveat you'd expect. Don't bother someone who looks hurried. Don't confuse giving compliments with harassment. And don't be rude. Be open, however, as Stark advises. The important thing is to ask questions and then be quiet. Give people a chance to fill their own silence. This is actually an old trick known to interviewers and reporters. We all have an instinct to break up an awkward pause, but it's better to resist and let the other person do it. Once someone feels listened to, Stark writes, they can't stop talking. Then again, maybe the connection doesn't have to be verbal. The sweetest examples I've encountered involved a stark share of one's own students poetically suggesting how he might talk to a stranger without saying a single word. The student was on the subway, listening to music through their headphones, seated next to a woman doing the same thing. He looked off his headphones and held them out to her. Stark writes, she looked puzzled for a moment, then took hers off and traded with him. After a few minutes, they switched back. Not a word passed between them, but it was an amazing learning experience for both of them. Celeste Headley writes this quote, which ends our meditation for the day. There's no reason to learn how to show you're paying attention if you are in fact paying attention. The Art of Noticing by Rob Walker. What will you notice today if you talk to a stranger? May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause God's face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord look upon you with favor and grant you peace. Thank you for joining us this morning and hope to see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you, Pastor.
Amen. Thank you.